$12,000 off this Live from Shenanigans. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bobcat Insider, presented by Shenanigans. As always, we are live from Shenanigans Sports Bar and Grill in San Angelo, Texas. My name is Chad Miller. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Arlen Ponder. And, of course, we have head coach Mark Smith with us here today. First of all, Coach, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Arlen. It's always great to be back here, at Shenanigans, talking about what the Bobcats are doing. It's going to be an exciting night. I know we'll get some football updates as usual.
Yes.
We've got golf. The boys' golf team is here. We got gymnastics. We got boys and girls gymnastics fresh off district championship wins for both of them. So I'm excited to feature these guys tonight and let you guys hear from them.
And I'm excited to learn about them because, of course, as me being maybe a typical Texan, I'm not very familiar with gymnastics outside of the likes of the Olympics. So I'm going to be excited to learn about this program. I did talk to somebody connected. I believe it was a grandparent earlier, and I got a good little insight. So I'm very excited to learn more about this team and what they were able to accomplish this year. But, Coach, of course, we start with that mentioned football update. Of course, when you last left us, we had a bit of an empty spot in that schedule. We were trying to figure out what that was going to look like. It's full. It's full. So if you don't mind us, Coach, give us an update. What's that look like for us?
We're going to play Midland Greenwood, the 7th week of the season now. We had that was the week that we drew the open slot in our District 2-6A play. So we're going to play Midland Greenwood. The coach there reached out to me, and initially I dismissed it, right off the bat, said, no, I'm good. I just didn't want to play it. They're a 4A school.
Right.
And I just didn't necessarily want to do that right away. And then I thought about it for a few days, and we got back on the phone together, and he said, look, Coach, I don't want to do it either. It wasn't the right thing, for him. But he's in the same situation. He's in a 14 district, and he's got to find 7 non-district games.
In fact, he's in the only 14 district.
He is.
And that because also Lakeview is in that same district, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, and the way that it worked out, and I've been talking, Coach Chant, our athletic director, had been, talking to a company that kind of does matchmaking for play with out-of-state teams, and the schools in Midland and Odessa have been doing that for a long time.
Right.
And so, according to them, we were a little late getting to them. Texas, when they do realignment, is actually really late compared to the rest of the country on putting schedules together. So the matchmaker had kind of already used all the teams he had, that he was trying to match games for. So it was getting a little difficult with that. He was able to find a few people that were kind of nibbled at some bites there that we threw out. But it's a challenge to play a team from out of state. So, I talked to Jeff Ellison. He was the head coach at Odessa. He's the head coach at Odessa Permian, and they've been doing this for years there. And he said, Mark, one year we had a team from New Jersey come in, and I swear they had like 17 players is all they showed up. So one year you get the Dallas Cowboys come in, and then next year you get a team with 17 guys. So it's really kind of hard to know what you're going to get. I said, you know what? Let's explore this option at Greenwood again. So we kind of went back to the drawing board there, and we're going to play varsity only against them. Our sub-varsity, we're going to play Odessa Permian, during that time. So the JV and the freshmen will play Permian, but we filled out the schedule. We're going to play Greenwood. They needed it to be week 7. I had week 6 as my, open date, or that kind of halfway point. Then we drew the open date the very next week. So he tried to figure out who has the first open week in District 2-6A, and it happened to be us. He was going to reach out to whoever that was and try to see if they were interested in playing a game. So that's how it got worked out.
Well, last year we called the Greenwood game.
Yeah.
So got to see them
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. They're a good team.
They're a solid program.
They're a solid program.
Yeah, they went 13-1 a year ago, and so they got great players, great coaches, good personnel. So I don't know really anything other than that about them. I will as the season gets going, but they should be a good matchup.
They had a great, near as I remember, they had a great quarterback that had an arm on him. But one of the things is, the way it's going to work out, they may eventually be in the Little Southwest Conference.
They could, if they're growing and the growth and development that they're seeing, it's very well may be that. One thing that, was a little bit of concern to our people was, we travel really well. The Bobcats travel, and we were worried about how big the visiting stands were there on their side. So we'll have to figure some of those things out, just cram our people in there as best we can when it's our turn to go there, which we will. We're going to go to Midland this first year. They'll come to San Angelo in the second year of that agreement. But, so we'll play 5. Our 5 non-district games will be off the 6th game. We'll play one more non-district game, and then we'll play our last 4 district games.
I'm glad. See, that's the great thing about talking to you in this, because you just seem to check off my questions boxes as we go through it.
I got you. Yeah.
So I guess, and obviously the season's a long way away. So I know you might be able to give as much insight, but talk to us about what that may look like. Where you're like, hey guys, look, like we have this bye, but it's not district yet. You have this bye, the non-district with Greenwood, then all of a sudden district. You don't have that week to like, okay, cool, let's see what my district opponent's been doing this whole season. You kind of have to prepare for another non-district and then get in the district schedule. What do you think that adjustment would be like for you and your staff?
Well, we're gonna use that our bye week in there and watch all of our district opponents. We'll split the staff up. The rest of the district is playing that week, so
there you go.
We'll be able to watch them play and go out and get eyes on them. I think it's always to your advantage if you can see somebody, live and play. Then you see all the things that happen between the whistles, and you can learn a lot about a team and their pace and how they operate and things from the sideline back into the field. So we're going to spread out and go watch all of the teams in our district play that week. So that'll be a great thing for us. And we also utilize that bye week for us. We spend a lot of time getting ready for Midland High. They run an unconventional offense, so we'll spend a healthy
very
amount
familiar
of
with
that
that
time, working on Midland High.
Right.
That's our second district, opponent. When we start district play there, we open with Midland Lee, and then it's Midland High in the second game. So we'll spend a good portion of that week getting a jump on Midland High, and then we'll come back and get ready for Midland Greenwood starting on Monday of that game week.
One thing that you do good, Coach, in your staff, y'all plan. Y'all don't start, people think, oh, well, it's football season. No, y'all are already starting. You're already watching stuff.
Yeah, there's preliminary reports already done, on all of our, opponents. So we kind of have who's back on their team, how many starters do they return, just kind of basic information. What do they like to run offensively and defensively? Some of the opponents that are familiar that we've played, Abilene High, Abilene Cooper, Belton, we already have a good idea about what those teams do and how they function, although Belton is going to be a little bit different. They got a new head coach, so we'll kind of take a different approach at studying those guys.
I remember you telling us that story last time you were here about, like originally you weren't going to come back, and all of a sudden, hey, look, they needed a game, you needed a game, and it just kind of worked out.
I mean, I'm sitting there at the Region Service Center here in San Angelo and get a call from the Belton AD asking us. He said, I know my previous coach didn't want to renew our agreement, but we got a new coach, and he's open to it. They were scrambling a little bit too, so some of that happens that time. But he came from Leander Roos, so we're going to study those guys a little bit and kind of see what he did there and get a jump on that.
Look at that. Now I get to teach you something. He said Leander is Leander Rouse.
Rouse,
yeah.
What did I say?
I'm from the east of Roos.
Okay.
Obviously, just kind of
it's
just fun. The few times my Central Texas home can actually be able to help things out here in West Texas, but still,
what
it's
is
actually
Rouse?
pretty
Who is
interesting.
that named after? Is that named after a person, or who is that?
It probably is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm aware that they were overall a pretty good program when I was in high school. Of course, that was almost 10 years ago at this point. But still, nonetheless, I would imagine that they'll be able to do some things and see what they can do with us. But obviously, you always have trust and faith in the Angry Orange. So I'm all here for it.
Oh yeah.
But obviously,
the other thing is we're going to play all the games at 7 o'clock now. We started last year. The non-district game started at 7, and district started at 7:30. They're going to all be at 7 o'clock.
Just love the evenness of everything. Something I'm wanting to bring up, Coach. I know we can only talk so much about football until it's football season. One thing that I know Arlen brought up a few times when they were covering the boys basketball trip through playoffs was simply you being there. Obviously, Arlen gave you a few shout-outs, especially during the first couple rounds. They're seeing you on the sideline, cheering the guys on. Talk to me about that mindset for you of, having him – obviously, yes, you're still a coach. They respect you as a coach. But it's also, you're also there trying to cheer on your guys and also making sure you're not, just – still being there for the guys.
Well, I love basketball. I played it in high school as well, and my son was on the team. So we're going to be at the games, and so watching Micah play and watching the guys play, it was really a good. I liked my front row seat right down there at home. A couple of times I got there a little bit late and had to ask some people, hey, I really need to be right here. I like this. Getting down there, but I think it's good. I like, for the players and the people to see how involved, that I am. Not that that's why you do it, but I do. I care. I got a bad case of the want-tos, and I want the Bobcats to be good, and I want us to win. I want to bring some energy and add value where I can, no matter what the sport is.
Absolutely, and it shows that family environment, that team environment. Oh, not just being football, not just being gymnastics, baseball. It's a Angry Orange team.
It is. I've always felt that way. I think we get so many good people at our high school, and they do a lot of different things, play a lot of different sports, and we got them. And we're gonna feature 3 of them tonight with our boys golf and then boys and girls gymnastics, and just some amazing young people that are here. And I just love supporting all of them. Michelle and I know we go as to many things as we can. High five and cheering, encouraging. Even the ones like gymnastics we don't know a whole lot about. I watch and I see that look good. I got to go to Coach Walker and Coach Eric and find out.
I say some of those trophies I've been seeing in some pictures. That tells you pretty good how good that program is over there.
They need a new trophy case over in gymnastics because they've got it full. It is full. We need to do something else on the side of the gymnastics gym in there. I keep telling. We've won so many championships up in there, they've run out of room to add like another year on it, which is a good problem. So
that's a fantastic
great problem. And we're going to hear from Coach Eric, Coach Walker, in a little bit about that. They're just humble people, and the winningest programs, I think, probably in the history of our school are those two there. So I'm excited to hear from them. And they're amazing people tonight.
So who are we talking to first, Coach?
We're going to go boys golf is coming up first. We're going to open next segment with boys golf and get a check-in on them and what they're doing. Then we're going to go to girls gymnastics will be next, and we'll wrap up the night with boys gymnastics.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, that's going to be it for you, Coach. We appreciate you being here with us. As Coach mentioned, when we come back, we'll have boys golf here. You're watching Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans. We'll be back after this.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in. We're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get this 2025 GMC Terrain. You could pay only $29,999. Or this 2025 Buick Envista. You could pay $21,999. Deep discounts and low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
Let's make a deal. No games, no gimmicks. Just straightforward deals at Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road. You can be in the driver's seat of a new Camry. Drive this one for only $30,844 and 4.75% APR for 60 months. Here's a deal that's hard to pass up. A new Tacoma for only $39,897 and 3.99% APR for 60 months. Mitchell Toyota, where we put the deal back in dealership.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Chad, you bringing us back?
I guess I am. Welcome back to Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans Sports Bar. As we mentioned with Coach Smith, we have boys golf. We also have a girls golfer here as well. But first of all, Coach, we're just going to jump right in with you. Just talk to us overall about this program and kind of how everything's been going so far.
This program's been around for a long time. I think, right when Central was built, the new campus in the 50s. And, if you look at all the record books, like the UIL record books or anywhere we go in the Austin Metroplex area, San Angelo Central still holds a pretty big name. And so that's kind of – I played for this program in the early 2010s. And, I learned about, what it meant to be a Bobcat golfer. And I kind of put that on these guys and these girls as well, just – keep the tradition going, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and so tell us about how you came back. You said you did it in the 2010s. So what brought you back, and how did you get? What was your path to get here?
So this was not on my path. I got a call when I went to school. I played collegiately, and then I went to Tech and I worked for the strength staff, and that was the route that I wanted to take. And then, life happens, and we end up back here in San Angelo like a lot of people do. And Mr. Waters actually called me and said, "Hey, Cal, we need a golf coach, and I need you to teach this subject." And I was like, "Man, okay,
if you insist."
And so that's kind of how it just happened. And then, once it happened, I hadn't touched a club in about 7 years, and it kind of just brought that love back that I had at one time. And, the coaching aspect, it was kind of weird going from coaching big collegiate athletes and now coming back to coaching high school golfers. But, I think that mindset kind of, the coaching mindset, it's taken us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
So.
Talk me through, you just mentioned a little bit right there where, you went from being in the strength field of course, probably loud music, slinging a lot of weight, making sure people are good to be ready to hit each other. I'm sure like football and among other sports as well.
Yeah.
What's that difference like knowing you're going from that type of environment to all of a sudden it's like calm and it's more like focus on the mechanics of everything rather than just simply lifting some weight and everything else like that?
No, I think the deal is, whenever you're out there and you have a bunch of kids who are competitive, it's the same mindset. And so when we're out there in tournaments and playing it, and I try to put us to where we compete against the best in the state. And I think that my players that really take off. We don't need the loud music. If they're going to compete, they're going to compete. You're kind of in that zone. And so that's kind of what we try to imitate in practice, and then we do it at tournaments as well.
Walk me through, you mentioned tournament, perfect lead into that. Walk me through the season as well. I know, of course, as if you watch golf professionally, they play year-round. What's the high school golf schedule like? Do y'all play a little bit here and there? Y'all more of a spring sport? Regardless, once you answer that, talk to us about your season as a whole this year.
So, we start, since we're a 6A school, 6A, 5A, 4As, they play year-round. We start in September, and then we're going, district, potentially regionals, and so on. That goes through April. Coaching the boys and the girls, we're super busy, but, it's not just one team. Those kids get 8 tournaments each, and it's kind of, they're just constantly building. And so those playing in all 8 of those tournaments is a big deal, because you can really see how that pays off whenever they get to district or they get to regionals. And my goal's been, when I came in here, I had about 6 boys and I had about 4 girls, and that was 10 kids total. And now we have about pushing like 35, 38. And so we're looking at, having not only a varsity guys top 5, but a varsity guys top 5 and a varsity guys 6 through 10, and then a JV on top of that, and the same thing with the girls. So the goal's to grow it, and same thing with the middle school stuff. My goal is to get it to where we have kids that come in as freshmen, and I don't have to teach them how to play golf anymore. They already know how to play golf. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, you know what, Coach? Let's meet your team here.
Yep.
So there you go, fellas. As we go around, just introduce yourself and say what classification you are, what grade you're in.
Sorry.
So
sorry,
introduce yourself and what grade you're in.
I'm a senior, and my name's Brady Billingsley.
Okay, Brady. Pass it on.
Pierce Elliott. I'm a junior.
I'm Jake Jost, and I'm a junior.
I'm Bo Burns. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Zachary Wetz. I'm a freshman.
Cooper Mitchell. I'm a freshman.
I'm Cashin Vara. I'm a freshman.
I'm Ricky Pena. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Cannon Hill, and I'm a senior. I'm a sophomore.
Jew. Okay.
I'm a Micah Smith, and I'm a junior.
Hey, I know you.
I'm Kemper Fry, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Clarissa Pena, and I'm a senior.
Nice.
Nice. So a good balance, Coach. You don't just have, seniors and juniors. You've got them mixed all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always told myself if I could get, 3 to 4 freshmen coming in each year on both sides, then that gives me some depth. So, and that's the thing. If a freshman comes in and they can play, they can play. and if you're a senior and you can't play, or they pass you, they pass you. And so that's kind of the mindset. You got to go out there and compete all the time. Want to play the best players.
Speaking of competition, kind of walk us through. I know you kind of talked about the season as a whole. You kind of mentioned starting earlier in the fall, and then of course district would kind of roll through April. What's kind of been some of the highlights of this program's season so far? Maybe at the varsity level, whether it's the boys or the girls, or maybe all of them, everybody all together.
No, so our district's really tough. It's really a toss-up. Come district time, like any of us 6 teams could go home first or second. And that's the thing about golf is it's not the top 4, it's the top 2. So it gets a little more intense. But my guys, we've showed steady progress throughout the whole entire year, and that's what we're going for. I tell them, I'm like, it's like we're peaking for a major. Like, we want to peak at the right time. I don't want us to play very well we can play well, but if we're playing well now and then we're not playing well later, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
So and that's the same thing for the girls. They're doing the same thing, and they've showed some highs. And I think a couple weeks ago, they won the Tall City in Midland and showed we're legit. And so kind of put us on the map.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Walk us through kind of like, of course, like I said, this is me something just learning more, because obviously I watch professional golf, but I can't do very much. But walk us through as a coach, having to help each. You mentioned you have up to 35 players as a whole, from boys and girls combined, of having to give every person at least enough time to help each of them develop for maybe that next level, or maybe just simply getting better for the team as a whole, of having to just kind of walk us through that as a.
Yeah, so I mean these kids can tell you, like, every week they're trying to keep their spot or earn another spot. Like, it's not in the sense of, you're the number 2 guy on the ladder this week and that means you have it the rest of the year. It's like, no, you could be 2 this week, you could be 5 the next week. Right. It just depends on how you're playing, and so it's kind of that's how I try to keep them have that competitive mindset. Even the ones that are 10, 11, 12, it's like, if you want that spot, you're going to have to keep working for that spot. And so, and some of the ones we don't have, like, the courses, we're super fortunate to have Quicksand, Bentwood, and Sac, but I can't take all of them out there. And so, those kids that are further down on the ladder, that 11 through 15, they have to earn it when I take them to those JV tournaments and show, I may be able to give you a shot. So, that's just kind of constant competitiveness. That's what I'm asking for.
So your team leaders, I'm thinking your seniors. So are they like your assistant coaches in a sense, that they help the younger ones, or are they?
So, I've been fortunate, or we've been fortunate over the past, since I've been here the past 4 to 5 years, to have some really good kids come through and kind of set a standard. Right. And we had, Ryan Honey and Colin Leonard, and they went to the state tournament. Ryan won state in 6A, and then Leonard was a first team All-State. And, those guys and those girls have seen that, and then it carries over and it carries over. And so, that's kind of, as my seniors, I just want them to set the example. And so when they graduate, I have another senior who does the same exact thing, and we've been fortunate enough to have those types of kids.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Well, you know what? We still got girls
I
gymnastics
know, we have
and
so
boys
much
gymnastics
left.
to get in.
But, Coach, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Obviously, give it up for the golf team for Central. When we come back, we will have gymnastics up here. You're watching Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans. We'll be back after this.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in, and we're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get $12,000 off this new 2025 GMC Sierra. $12,000 off. Or save $5,000 off this new 2025 GMC Acadia. Deep discounts, low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in. We're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get this 2025 GMC Terrain. You could pay only $29,999. Or this 2025 Buick Envista. You could pay $21,999. Deep discounts and low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
Let's make a deal. No games, no gimmicks. Just straightforward deals at Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road. You can be in the driver's seat of a new Camry. Drive this one for only $30,844 and 4.75% APR for 60 months. Here's a deal that's hard to pass up. A new Tacoma for only $39,897 and 3.99% APR for 60 months. Mitchell Toyota, where we put the deal back in dealership.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans. We have a very historic program here on stage, the girls gymnastics program at Central High School. Coach, I'm going to learn a whole lot of gymnastics here today. I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm not very familiar with it, so I apologize if anything I ask is maybe ignorant is maybe the right term okay. of everything, of simply everything, so first and foremost. But, Coach, talk about just your program as a whole. I did a quick research prior to the show. I know you're connected to a lot of trophies with this program, so kind of walk us through the story of this program and kind of a little bit of background we can learn here.
Really, the story began with Coach James White. That's who started gymnastics here at Central High School. And I was lucky enough to come in here in 1987, and he had been solely the boys and girls coach up until that point. And they were looking for a girls coach, and I applied for the job, and I moved in here in 1987 and worked with him and had the privilege of working with him for about 4 years before he retired. And, I walked in with him, and he laid out all these posters and said, "This is the way I do it." you can do whatever you want.
Some tells me you kind of followed the way that he laid it out.
I pretty much followed the way he laid it out, yes. And that's what I did. I followed the way he laid it out, and I brought my gifts and talents to the program and to the girls, and it all kind of gelled together to form what we have today.
You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And he had five state titles when I walked in the door.
Right. So as he transitioned out, did you change much whenever you came in?
No. I mean, matter of fact, in our rules and policies book, we still have a lot of the same rules and policies that were originated by him. Yes, I brought myself to the table and did what I felt was best for the girls' program, because that's what they were looking for. They weren't looking for a duplicate of Coach White. They were looking for a girls' coach. And so that I brought myself to the table, and we formed a good team together, and I just took it from there.
Sounds good.
What was that? You mentioned you kind of, of course, applied and you joined the program for kind of as a girls' coach, and then, of course, became pretty much the head of this program, it seems. What was it prior to your time with Central? What were you doing previously?
I was playing soccer and running track.
Well,
that's really what I was doing.
That must be quite the adjustment then, of having to go from doing that to...
Yes, it was quite the adjustment. No, my intention was to be a collegiate soccer coach. That was my intention, and this is who I end up with.
Forgive me, I'm a little lost. You went from soccer and track to all of a sudden a girls gymnastics head coach. I guess
how did I get to that point?
Yeah, how did we get there?
How did you get to that point?
Actually, at Texas A&M, we were required to take this course called Teaching of Gymnastics. And so I started there, and then we could get extra credit for working at this private club in Bryan College Station. And it just so happened to be that this man that ran the club was a previous Olympic coach.
Well, you know what? That's a pretty good story.
And I actually started off with coaching boys, and then some through tricks and turns. And when I did my student teaching at Richardson High School up in the Dallas area, I did it for the lady that was in charge of the gymnastics program. And she needed help with the girls, and so I stepped in the door and did that. And then when it came to apply for jobs after I graduated, I was looking for a soccer coaching job, but they really wanted a football kicker, and that wasn't what I was looking for at the time. I wanted to be a soccer coach. And so I went into the private club setting in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and got more gymnastics experience. And then this job opened, and my wife said she was looking at the Dallas Morning News one morning, and she said, "Hey, there's this gymnastics coaching position in San Angelo." And my reply was, "Where's San Angelo?"
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of had a similar response because I'm from Austin, so I had a very similar response when learning about West Texas as a whole. Obviously, you mentioned, you're kind of like as an assistant, you were a girls coach, but also kind of an assistant for 4 years, and then it was your turn to take over. Talk to me about that transition for yourself. I know you already mentioned how you kind of had the laid it out for you, but what was it for you whenever it was eventually your turn to really take over for things?
Well, by that point, I won my first state title came in 1988. I believe I came in 87, and then we won in 88, 89, I believe it was. And so I was starting to feel pretty comfortable with what I was doing. And once Coach White left, we had to find a boys coach. So really it was about finding a team to work together to make the boys and girls teams, not just the boys team over here and the girls team over here, but was to make us one cohesive team. So it just so happened that one summer when we were doing summer workouts, Coach Arrett was a previous gymnast at Central High School and went off to do collegiate gymnastics and would come back during the summertime. And when it came time for us to find a coach, It was more about, like I said, finding a cohesive person that I could work with that would want the same thing from the program that I wanted from the program, and he did because he came from that program. So, yeah, that's the way it kind of gelled together.
So educate us morons on what are the events? You know, we know football, we know basketball, but what are the events, and is it okay to cheer loud and scream and do all that good stuff like you do in football?
Yeah, actually, it really is. Collegiate girls gymnastics right now is huge. And, so events. There's an event called vault.
Okay.
And that's where they run down and they hit an object, and then you see them flipping in the air.
Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou Retton, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes.
You're learning, Arlen. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, yes, very good. And then the next one would be uneven bars, where they swing around. Okay, uneven bars. And then I think everybody knows the balance beam. Okay. It's about 4 inches wide and about 16 feet long that they have to stay on. Okay, so that's balance beam. And then the next one, everybody knows floor exercise. That's probably the most popular one that people see. And then they don't see the fifth event, but the fifth event would be what is called the all-around. And that's a gymnast that competes on every single event.
Okay.
Like at the Olympics, for instance, Simone Biles is an all-arounder.
Right.
Okay. And to where
that's about as far as my knowledge goes. The Olympics, about as far as it goes.
Yeah. So
see, I could blow him away and say Nadia Comaneci, but
and she was a famous all-arounder.
See, I'm so glad you filled in the blanks. I was literally going to go who?
First person that scored a 10. Yes.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
And the board wasn't set up to score a 10.
Exactly.
So it only scored a 1.
Only scored a 1.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So a little bit of trivia there.
I'm learning so much today. I'm very excited about this.
Well, Coach, let's meet your team.
Okay.
So here you go, ladies.
So just have us introduce. Just to give you first and last name, and then your classification.
No. Hey, hold on. Coach Smith's already set it up. First and last name, what grade you're in, and what you do.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm Ronnie Rios. I'm a freshman, and I compete vault, beam, and floor.
Hi, my name's Elena. I'm a freshman, and I compete beam. Hi, my name's Michael Mock. I'm a junior, and I compete vault, beam, and floor.
I'm Ava Bedard. I'm a senior, and I compete in the all-around.
I'm Steely Young. I'm a senior, and I do all-around.
I'm trying to get out of your way. I apologize. I'm a big person.
I'm Allison Garnett. I'm a senior, and I compete all-around.
I'm Isabella Nega-Vedich. I'm a freshman, and I compete in all-around.
I'm Serena Lopez. I'm a sophomore, and I do beam, floor, and bars.
Oh, God. I'm Addison McDuffie. I'm a senior, and I do vault and floor.
Well, she did.
She did.
My goodness, from the top rope, Coach.
Rough crowd. Yeah, that's why she's sitting down, you know.
She's sitting down.
Yep. Well,
my goodness. Obviously, we kind of obviously just met the team. So, talk to us about this season as a whole, Coach. Talk to us like kind of the team's overall performance. Is there anybody? And of course, I know all coaches love to say I don't got any favorites. Is there anybody who's really standing out that we should be? Some of us idiots that Arlen called us should be paying attention to more.
Actually, all of our seniors this year have done really well and come up to be all-arounders, and that's not an easy task. You hear some of them talking about doing individual events, and probably all 3 of our seniors started out on 1 or maybe 2 events when they were freshmen. And so to be able to lead yourself up, to be able to be competitive in the all-around is a really difficult task and a good thing. So we have 4 seniors, and Addison is one sitting down. And actually, Addison has had a wonderful year, and she was just warming up her last event at the district championships and turned her foot. And so we'll see what the doctor has in store for her. But our other seniors have put themselves in the all-around and are, when you look at the rankings and standings right now throughout the state, they're all 3 in the top 15, so they're doing well. Yeah.
AKA, pay attention. Got it. I'm learning.
So
slowly but surely.
What does your season consist of? We're approaching the end of the year. Do y'all go over or when's y'all?
We start in December.
Okay.
And then our state championships will be at the end of April.
Okay.
So we just completed district. Regionals will be in April. In our district, we were able to adjust our district schedule to where we did our district championships prior to spring break.
Okay.
We used to do it directly the week after spring break, and that just wasn't. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, rough.
And
nobody wants to do anything after
exactly. So, but we just finished completing our regular season and then the district championships. And then we'll be getting ready for the regional championships in April.
And where is that going to be?
It's going to be at Odessa Permian.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yes, exactly, which is close, which I like.
So it's almost like home turf.
It's exactly like home turf.
There you go. I love the confidence in it, Coach. Yep. I know we only have a little short amount of time left for it to get to the boys team, but I'm curious about it. You mentioned how some of your gymnasts had to. They start on one performance, and then they eventually some of them become all-arounders. Talk to me about, from a coaching perspective, is it really more of like having confidence and trust them to be able to perform that all-around, or is it one of those things of like trying to instill that confidence in the gymnast herself to be able to like, hey, you can do this, right. Let's make it happen?
Every single one of them work the all-around. There is an event that they don't do. And then when it comes down to competition, it's the top six best ones on that particular event, especially when it comes to district, regional, and state.
Gotcha.
And so it really ends up being the competition and how they're judged at competitions that end up determining who makes those top six. And they have meets we have in-house meets, and I judge them, and so that's how it kind of plays out. Just the top six. If they end up in the top six in every single event, then they end up in the all-around.
Fantastic. I mean,
that's
Arlen,
cool.
got anything else, man?
I'm good. Of course, I could go on forever, but I know we got to talk to the boys.
I'm so glad you can go on forever. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to make sure I learn about this very historic program. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Lady Cat gymnastics team. When we come back, we're going to have the boys gymnastics team up here. You're watching Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans. Coach, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in, and we're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get $12,000 off this new 2025 GMC Sierra. $12,000 off. Or save $5,000 off this new 2025 GMC Acadia. Deep discounts, low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in. We're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get this 2025 GMC Terrain. You could pay only $29,999. Or this 2025 Buick Envista. You could pay $21,999. Deep discounts and low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
Let's make a deal. No games, no gimmicks. Just straightforward deals at Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road. You can be in the driver's seat of a new Camry. Drive this one for only $30,844 and 4.75% APR for 60 months. Here's a deal that's hard to pass up. A new Tacoma for only $39,897 and 3.99% APR for 60 months. Mitchell Toyota, where we put the deal back in dealership.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, live from Shenanigans Sports Bar. We have the boys gymnastics team on stage, the head coach, Kern Aaron. Now, before we get to you, Coach, I do got to apologize. I did not even formally introduce our other two guest coaches today. So, of course, that was Tony Walker with girls gymnastics. And, of course, the irony behind this, your son, Cal Aaron, the head coach of the boys and girls golf team. So, you know, it was kind of funny. You introduced him. I was like, wait a second, that name sounds familiar. And I'm like, wait a second, we just talked to somebody. What's your last name? But, Coach, I know, of course, we just had a very historic program up here with the girls gymnastics team. Talk to us about the boys gymnastics team. Talk about the program as a whole. Kind of give us a little bit of background like we had Coach Walker do with the girls.
Well, like Coach Walker said, that's where I found gymnastics. I grew up as baseball and football. And, of course, I'm not a big guy. And so I had a baseball coach said, hey, you need to try gymnastics. And so summer 8th grade year, I walked in the gymnastics gym and met Coach White, and that started everything out. It was a great group of boys there that I had already known and grown up with. And so that started everything out. And Coach White, I learned from him. And he was just a phenomenal coach. And that year, started 8th grade in 1983. I was a junior that year, and we won the state championships. And then also were ranked number 1 in the country in 1983 when they had those rankings.
My goodness. That's I love it so much. I love it. So kind of what, of course, you were told from a baseball coach that you to try gymnastics, which to me, by the way, is super out of left field, pun intended, of simply just how that came to be. Of what, forgive me for a little more context there. How did a baseball coach of all people be like, hey, you should go do gymnastics? Like, that feels so weird.
Well, the problem was, I mean, I was a decent athlete, and I was pretty good at baseball, but I wasn't very big.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time Central High School had a great gymnastics program. And so the coach I had, he had gone to Central and there was a swimmer there and knew that and thought, you need to try this out.
So you went, okay.
And I went, and it was very different. It was hard.
Right.
And even as a good athlete, it was different. And I was just used to running and being quick, but now all of a sudden you have to totally control your body in everything you do and have good form. And so, I learned. I wasn't the best at it, but I got better, and it was a lot of fun. And especially being a part of a team that wins a state championship.
Oh, sure.
And those guys, we don't talk much anymore. We try to. But that's something will last forever. Those relationships. And part of being in a program, I actually started teaching when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
Helping with Coach White in the program. That was part of the program to help with the younger kids. And that's how I got into coaching. And I took that. I had a partial scholarship to Houston Baptist University and was there for about 5 months and decided this isn't for me. And I had always wanted to go to Tech.
Right.
And so I took the long road around from going to Houston, back home, and then ended up at Tech, and they had a club team, and did that for a year. And while I was there, I coached in a lot of clubs there in Lubbock. So I kept that going. And then when I finally got out of school and everything, I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to go back home and coach.
Wow.
And it was a long road, and but got there, and I wasn't listening too good when Coach Walker was talking, but I heard some of it. But when Coach White retired, I didn't get the job the first go around, and I tried, but there were some things there with the then athletic director and Coach White didn't get along. So I went to Lubbock High School.
Okay.
And that was my first job. Lubbock High School coach went to Central. And I don't know if I should say this or not, but Coach Walker, he went and said either he's going or I'm going. And so I got the call from Tony and Bob Beaver. And they said, are you still interested? And I said, oh, yeah. So it worked out. He went back to Lubbock High. I came back here. And the boys program was kind of down. We didn't have very many boys. I think we had 4 on varsity, and we didn't have anybody in the JV. And so started building it back up. And, you know, it was a blessing to have Coach Walker there and learn from him, and then the time that I spent with Coach White and learning from him, because I'd come home during the summers and work with him with the varsity and the summer program. And he's exactly right about those signs, those charts.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one summer I went over to Coach White's house, and he said, I need you to do this, this, and this. Draw up all these charts. I'm like, okay. And he said, what do you think? What have you been learning? And he wanted me to make some things, about some of my ideas. And that's pretty much how I got to where I am.
No, that's kind of cool.
Honestly, yeah, I like the story. Yeah. I love the background of it.
And Coach Walker, coming in with him, I mean, I was a young, kind of fired up coach thinking I might know it all. And I learned real quick. I was so energetic and fired up and passionate. And now that I've gotten older, I've slowed down a little bit. And but
it happens.
It does. I have learned a lot from Coach Walker, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. And I'm still learning every day.
So tell us a little bit about what we can expect from your kids and your boys this program going around.
Well, these guys just won a district title, and we're going into regionals here in about 4 weeks, and we got a good shot at that. And as far as at the state, everything works right. We go to state. Right now we're sitting number 4 in the state right now.
Okay.
And they're working hard. We talk about it. We're trying to get better every day. We know what we need to work on. We focus on the things that we struggle with and try to get better there. And that's what we've been doing. And it's, you know, these guys, it's just so much fun coaching them, and they're working hard, and I'm just really, really proud of them.
Well, you know what? Let's meet your team here. So here you go, fellas.
My name is Carson Edwards. I am a junior, and I compete in the all-around.
I'm Wyatt Pickett. I'm a junior, and I compete rings and high bar.
I'm Aiden Freeman. I'm a junior, and I do all-around.
Your turn.
My name is Carson Freeman. I'm a senior, and I do floor and vault.
I'm Adam Williams, and I do pommel horse, and I'm a senior.
I am Caden Stewart.
And I compete floor, pommel, rings, vault, and P-bars.
I'm Brady Stewart, and I compete in the all-around.
So, just like the girls, they all compete in all-around?
Yeah, they do. For the boys, you have 6 pieces of equipment. You got the floor, the pommel horse, the rings, the vault, and then the parallel bars and the high bar.
Okay. So, and all around is all 6 of those?
All 6. You compete in all 6.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. So.
And it's not, people probably go, oh, gymnastics, whatever. No, you have to be physically fit. It's not easy to do. Just go out there and jump on it.
Yeah,
no.
Arlen, you and I can't do it, Arlen.
No, we can't do it.
Yeah, but
Sure.
it's hard. It really is.
Yeah, and so what does the future look like of your program? I hear, do you have a lot of younger kids that are coming in?
I have 5 freshmen, 8th graders now that'll be coming in as freshmen.
Okay.
So hopefully they can help us out, and looking forward to getting them in the gym, and we have them right now for middle school.
Good deal. Good deal. So, Chad, you got anything?
I can hear you. Sorry, we're having technical issues where I couldn't hear myself for a while, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out what that issue may be because my head's going crazy. Anyway, obviously, Coach, walk us through some of these events. Obviously, I know Coach Walker kind of did a pretty good job himself by simply just giving us what all the girls do. You talked about the 6 pieces of equipment. In your opinion, what do you think might be some of on the easier end of the scale and also some of the tougher end of the scale when it comes to those 6 pieces of equipment for your team?
Well, pommel horse isn't the scariest to it because it's low to the ground. But it's probably, and these guys may agree, probably will agree, that it's probably the hardest piece of equipment to work. Because you're up there swinging, and you're pushing down and swinging the whole time you're on the equipment. If you relax, then you're down.
Oh.
Excuse me. Probably rings takes the most strength. Excuse me. But high bar, to me, when I competed, was the scariest. And it's tough. And it's, pommel horse and high bar I hated, personally.
Yeah?
Arlen, I'm sure you can hear me, but unless you have anything else,
like I said, I could go on and ask questions forever, but I see the Lakeview Soccer down there, so you got to start your part.
Yeah, we have Chiefs Insider coming up momentarily, but Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being up here.
Thank you.
Gentlemen,
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Good luck to y'all in the next round. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, the Central Gymnastics program. Well, that's going to be it for today's Bobcat Insider. And of course, we'll have Chief Insider coming up momentarily for my partner Arlen Ponder. English is tough, everybody. I'm so sorry. And of course, our producer director Shay Harris. My name is Chad Miller. As always, take care of each other and yourselves. Have a good night. Thank you for watching Bobcat Insider live from Shenanigans. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chief Insider, live from Shenanigans. We have a fantastic show on hand as we have both the boys and girls soccer program. Of course, one of them is already on stage with me here as our boys team is here. And obviously, the 17-2, 16-0 in district play boys team, which, I mean, folks, that's very hard in soccer, if I can imagine. So, Coach, first and foremost, congratulations on everything so far. Obviously, there's still some season left. I know we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but, I mean, a heck of a time so far.
Oh, yeah. The Lord's been really good to us. These boys behind me and beside me, they are the reason that I show up and go to work every day. They've busted it all season. They've worked as hard as they can. I appreciate their hard work, and they're the reason we're 17-2 and 16-0, 15-0.
Listen, by the way, also head coach Kyle Jones. Coach, obviously, the job's not done. Obviously, 16-0 this year. You got 2 more games, and it looks to be a non-district game. Maybe. I'm not too sure. That's a legit listing there. But obviously coming up this week, tomorrow at home against Lubbock Estacado, and then I believe that's Friday, if I'm doing my math correctly, against Friendship Memorial. I mean, before we jump into those two, let's talk about the season as a whole. Obviously, you kicked off the year just 2 tough losses against Bridgeport and Navasota, and then obviously just gone on the run of your lives, it seems like. Let's talk about those first 2 matchups and kind of what y'all learned from that heading into what's been a heck of an overall season.
Well, it wasn't a great start from us. You know, we had some injuries at the beginning of the year, and we had some guys that were missing that were out of town at that time of the tournament, and we really learned what some guys can do. We learned where they can play. We learned where they will best help the team, and since then we found the right spot, the right mixture of guys that work together, and they took off with it, and the rest is up to them, and they've done a great job.
I mean, yeah, ever since that 0-2 start, you've only given up more than 1 goal once, and that was against Snyder back on February 17th. But, I mean, I'm seeing some of these match finals, Coach, and I mean, 10-0 against Sweetwater, 13-0 against Sweetwater. Like, it seems like you'll have Sweetwater's number. 8-0 against Andrews, 8-0 against Friendship Memorial and Lubbock Estacado. You have first time around, 8-0 against Pecos. I mean, it seems like the offense is really finding ways to make it happen no matter what.
Yeah, our offense has always been great. You know, we got plenty of guys that can score. When you look at our stat sheet, it's the love spread around from everybody that creates goals or that creates chances to score. But me being a former defender, I pride myself in defense. And whenever we get shutouts, to me, that's the best win. Whenever we can shut out an opponent and we go on the road and we get a shutout and we can keep the fans quiet on the road, that's the best feeling in the world. And these guys do a great job at that.
Yeah, 12 clean sheets from your team's part. I mean, and obviously, I can ask a question. I've watched a little bit of soccer, mainly Premier League, but I watch a little bit. Talk to me about just the shape. What's that formation like for your team right now?
Well, we run a 1-4-3-3, and we've really started to push the ball forward this year and try to attack a lot more. And we got guys that are out wide that can really have a lot of pace, that have a lot of endurance, and their fitness is key. And whenever we can get the ball to those guys out wide, from midfield to wide, that seems to be our best chance to score, and they take advantage of it.
And then, of course, I'm sure there's plenty of these games you can point back to, but what are some of those high points, maybe some of your favorite moments from this season so far from a coaching perspective?
Yeah, that Snyder game that you mentioned, we were actually down 2-1 at halftime, and we had to make a few adjustments and try to push the game forward and get on the front foot and try to get 2 quick goals in the second half, and we did, and then that third goal came later in the game, and we ended up winning 4-2. But just to be able to come back from being down 2-1 at halftime with only 40 minutes left to win the game, these boys show resiliency, they showed their toughness, and they got the win.
Yeah, and of course, since that Snyder game you mentioned back on February 17th, you only given up 1 goal, and that was in your previous match against Pecos. I mean, you mentioned being a former defender. That just got to bring a big smile to your face, knowing that, hey, these guys are going to take care of business from the offensively, obviously with the scoring goals with a 13-0 win against Sweetwater, and then against the Pecos with 3-1.
Yeah, you know, it's when you come off a big win like we did against Sweetwater, and then we have to turn around and go to Pecos, which was almost a 3.5-hour drive for a district game. You know, it takes a toll on you, but that Pecos game, the score doesn't really reflect how well we played. We dominated that game. We had plenty of shots. The ball just didn't go our way, but it went our way enough to come out with a 3-1 win.
Talk to me about and of course, and forgive me for this part, as I'm still trying to learn about Lakeview as a whole. I've only been able to cover the school as a whole for basically the last year and a half, arguably. What was that preseason expectations like for your program? Was it always like, hey, like we're going to go 16-0 and hopefully 18-0 in district? Or is it one of those things where it's like, hey, look, let's see what happens. Let's see how we're feeling. Let's see the form we're in, and then let's see what we can do.
Right, yeah. We always start with a goal in mind. Obviously, you have to have a goal in mind to be successful, but our main goal is one game at a time. We don't look ahead. Right now we're focused on Estacado tomorrow, who's coming to town, and then after that we'll focus on Friendship, and then after that Cooper, and then after that playoffs. It's not a long term where we say we have to go 18-0.
Right.
I'm not going to be disappointed if we lose a game. I hate losing just like everybody else does, but at the end of the day, it's sports. You know, you're always going to run into somebody bigger, stronger, faster, but we just hope that doesn't happen until we're deep in the playoffs this year.
Talk to me about the, and of course, obviously, looking at the Max Prep schedule here, obviously, all this district games make sense. What's up with that Cooper game randomly at the end of the year?
Oh, we have an extra game that we can add onto our schedule each year, so that's just a warm-up playoff game. We want to get the best experience we can, the best fitness that we can, and every year Cooper pushes us to our limit, so it doesn't really count on our schedule, but it's a good test for us to see where we're at before we play El Paso next week.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's all coming together for me. I'm slowly learning everything as we go on. But obviously, let's talk about this team as a whole now. Actually, we're gonna hopefully this works. One of those headsets we're gonna pass around, and I believe it's gonna be that one in front of you there. Yeah, I hear it, so I think that's the one. So obviously, we'll start here. We'll go around. Just give me, as I mentioned to you prior to the show, give me your first and last name, your classification, and what position you play.
My name is Sebastian Heredia. I'm a senior and I play goalkeeper.
Give it this gentleman, yeah.
My name is Ulysses Chavez. I'm a junior and I play center mid.
Fantastic. Some tells me you got a pretty
My
good
name's
game.
Evan Gallegos. I'm a senior and I'm CDM.
Before you continue that, for those who know at home, that's a central defensive midfielder. See, I'm learning. I know things.
That's good. That's good.
FIFA taught me a lot. All right, let's go.
My name is Santiago Martinez. I'm a right wing and I'm a senior.
My name is Jeremy Zavala. I'm a senior and I'm a striker.
Oh yeah, top man right there.
My name is Omar Chavez. I'm a sophomore and I play right back.
My name's Kevin Cardenas, freshman. I play winger.
My name is Santiago Soria, and I play. Oh, I'm a freshman, and I am a winger.
My name is Mason Decker. I'm a junior, and I play defensive midfield.
My name's Gael Arteaga. I'm a senior, and I play midfield.
My name's Robin Engel. I'm a junior and I play CDM.
My name is Abel Mota. I'm a senior and I play center back.
My name is Brendan Decker. I'm a sophomore and I'm a left back.
I am Isaiah Rios and I play center back.
I'm Joshua Martinez. I'm a junior and I play goalkeeper.
First and foremost, I do want to thank y'all. So the support you are giving here is absolutely phenomenal. I love y'all's energy. Keep it up. I do want to also, of course, some of y'all may recognize, of course, I do cover the Chiefs football team. So Isaiah Rios is sneaking up here at the last second here. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. But obviously, guys, just a heck of a season so far, and I gotta give you all the applause and all the commend, because if people don't know about Lakeview soccer, they certainly should. It's certainly,
I hope so by now.
I know. Someone tells me 17-2, 16-0. Looking at district standings, assuming Max Preps 4 games on top of first place, like it's 90. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at this. Assuming Max Preps is correct, I'll read you out the stat line. Of course, we know about 16-0 in district play. 90 goals for, which is a lot. That's phenomenal for 16 matches. Only 6 given up. 6. That is a super small number given up per game. Let's give it up for these boys right here. That's an excellent number right there. that brings the smile to the defenseman's face right there. I know you're very happy about that.
Very happy.
So obviously, Coach, I'm not sure how many times how many different ways I can say it. It's been a heck of a year so far. Let's talk about more about those matchups coming up this week. You mentioned both home games for your program against two teams you've already taken care of, but of course you don't want to overlook any opponents with Lubbock Estacado and Friendship Memorial coming up this week. But it looks like you're going to Mass Press 5:30 kickoff time. And I apologize if I'm saying the wrong term there, but nonetheless, let's leave about those matchups. What should we expect as, of course, Northside Pride fans?
Well, before I answer that, a lot of these guys, whenever I first started, I don't know how old they were. Some of them were 15. They were probably 5 when I started at Lakeview. Mm-hmm. They don't understand that the first year that I was at Lakeview, my record was 2-18. We won 2 games. We weren't doing stuff like this. When you're 2-18, people don't ask you to come out and do interviews and anything like that. But the boys that stuck around and they get to see it, and these seniors, they haven't lost a district game in 4 years. They've been undefeated for 4 years. And, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
That is, obviously we want to make sure we get the job done, but that is something to definitely hang your hat on right there.
Yes, and we're now 5-time district champion in a row, and that just goes to show the work ethic that these guys put in off the field, off season, in season. They just grind it out and work hard. But back to Estacado. Estacado always plays us hard. We know they're coming to town to try to win. They're not in the playoffs, obviously, so they really don't have much to lose. Every year they have our second round matchup against them, they've always shown up to play. They show up to play hard, and they're coached very well. Me and their coach started. I remember whenever this was a 3-team district, and now we're up to 10 teams.
Yeah,
and me and him were around forever. So I know him very well, and he's a good coach. He's a good guy. But we just got to take care of business tomorrow, show up and play.
Fantastic, Coach. I love this, and of course, you alike other coaches just want to take it one match, one game at a time. So I get it. Not wanting to talk about friendship all too much, but obviously, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Let's give one more round of applause for the Chiefs soccer team. And, of course, head coach Kyle Jones. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations on your success so far this year.
Thank you, sir.
Wishing you the best of luck and the rest of your boys. Good luck to y'all the rest of the season. Go take care of business. When we come back, we will have the maiden soccer team up here. And, of course, as always, you're watching Chiefs Insider live from Shenanigans. We'll be back after this.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in, and we're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get $12,000 off this new 2025 GMC Sierra. $12,000 off. Or save $5,000 off this new 2025 GMC Acadia. Deep discounts, low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in. We're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get this 2025 GMC Terrain. You could pay only $29,999. Or this 2025 Buick Envista. You could pay $21,999. Deep discounts and low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
Let's make a deal. No games, no gimmicks. Just straightforward deals at Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road. You can be in the driver's seat of a new Camry. Drive this one for only $30,844 and 4.75% APR for 60 months. Here's a deal that's hard to pass up. A new Tacoma for only $39,897 and 3.99% APR for 60 months. Mitchell Toyota, where we put the deal back in dealership.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in, and we're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get $12,000 off this new 2025 GMC Sierra. $12,000 off. Or save $5,000 off this new 2025 GMC Acadia. Deep discounts, low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual fee, no balance transfer fee, and even a rewards option, First Community's Platinum Visa is the card for you. With security as a high priority, you can lock your card in case it's lost, stolen, or just to limit its use. So be smart, bank smart with First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa.
Deep discounts and low prices on all 2025s in stock. 2026 vehicles are rolling in. We're forced to start our 2025 year-end clearance event now. Get this 2025 GMC Terrain. You could pay only $29,999. Or this 2025 Buick Envista. You could pay $21,999. Deep discounts and low prices during our 2025 year-end clearance event. Only at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
Let's make a deal. No games, no gimmicks. Just straightforward deals at Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road. You can be in the driver's seat of a new Camry. Drive this one for only $38,444 and 4.75% APR for 60 months. Here's a deal that's hard to pass up. A new Tacoma for only $39,897 and 3.99% APR for 60 months. Mitchell Toyota, where we put the deal back in dealership.
First Community Federal Credit Union's Platinum Visa is a giant of a credit card. With great low rates, no annual.
Everyone wave hi to Shay.
Welcome back to Chiefs Insider live from Shenanigans. We just got done talking to the Chiefs soccer team. Now we have the maiden soccer team joining us today, and of course led by head coach Courtney Green. Courtney, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming back. If you may recognize her voice, fans, as she partnered with me throughout the volleyball postseason. She was my color commentator, and I appreciated her help carrying me through those volleyball games because, of course, I only know so much, and she did so much to help me out. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for showcasing us. And we really appreciate y'all. We've had a fantastic season, so we're excited to be here.
And we can dive right on into it. Of course, the overall record, 10-6-3, 10-4-2 in district. A bit of a rough start to start the year. Let's I know you don't want to really focus too much on that, but you got to tell the story of the season, right? Of course, your non-district games, Waxahachie, Fredericksburg, and Pleasanton. Of course, couple big programs and a couple of tight ones there early on. Just kind of talk about just those early first few matches for your program.
Well, prior to that, a scrimmage that's not on here, we actually traveled to Burnett, a team that went 17-0 last year. And going in, I went in knowing that we were going to lose. I needed to see the mistakes. We actually tied them 0-0. So
there you go, bit of a draw. Love it.
We actually started off very well. And then we went into our tournament. Our first game was against Waxahachie, who is a 6A school. Playing a 4A. We only lost by 2. And in all fairness, in our first kind of real game with everyone, I mean, they did okay, but a 2 game to 6A, we'll take it. Against Fredericksburg, who's very talented, they're ranked very high in the state. We only lost by 1, but that was a PK, an undeserved PK, within the last 8 minutes or so. And so again, I don't really count that as a loss.
The look over tells a story.
It wasn't her fault. And then Pleasanton, we didn't play our best in all fairness. So it wasn't the tournament outcome we wanted, but I also wasn't, I I mean, I care, but I don't care. I care more about district. So to me, that's just to see what our holes are and see what needs to be worked on.
And that's the one that puts you in the playoffs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, 10-4-2, and obviously a very solid record overall in a soccer standpoint. Of course, we talk about your last 6 matches. Of course, a lot of big victories in there.
Yeah.
Where, of course, Snyder, Andrews, Big Spring, Sweetwater, and Pecos. And, of course, the one that was really making the news was that Greenwood game and winning up in your first ever win over Greenwood in penalties, if I'm correctly. Is that right? So kind of walk me through, and I guess this is one I really want to touch on. Walk me through that emotion for you as a coach, knowing like you had such a tough opponent with Greenwood. You drew. I'm sure you probably had maybe an overtime period, then PKs. What was just the emotion like for you?
Well, coming into that game, we were on like a 5-game winning streak, and then we lost to Liberty Memorial. We beat Snyder, and then we came back for round 2 against Greenwood.
Right.
And honestly, at that point, I felt like we were playing our best ball, and I felt like we were ready. And I want to say I even told the team a couple days, like, we're going to take them to a tie. Like, they have some fantastic forwards. I'm talking like U.S. women national team forwards, and they had some opportunities. But I knew going into our strategy had to be to go for the tie, and we have one of the best keepers in the whole district, so I knew if we went into a tie that we could come out on top. It's the most nerve-wracking as far as PK goes. Normally I'm almost want to throw up, like it's insane. But I felt very confident that day just because I'm very confident in our keeper.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes to show, I mean, during this winning streak, I mean, a whole bunch of clean sheets I'm seeing. So obviously, I know that's of course part of it your defense, but also of course you got to give kudos to the keepers. I'm sure they've had to make a couple of good big tough shots.
We've had 13 shutouts this year, which is incredible. That says a whole lot about our keeper. Even our last game against Pecos a couple weeks ago, they only had 1 shot on goal, but that 1 shot was the best shot of the game that I thought for sure was a goal, and then Lexus came out of nowhere to save it. And then in addition to our 12 shutouts, we've had 7 games where our defense has allowed 0 shots on goal. So it says a lot to our defense, particularly our center back. She's a sophomore named Addison Lopez, and she's just a straight animal, and so she handles a lot back there.
I mean, and I did talk about this with the boys earlier, kind of looking at the district picture. Of course, you're currently in 4th. I mean, by the looks of it, you pretty much got yourself a secure playoff spot, 10-4-2. But you mentioned those shutouts. If you're not the top 2 teams, you have the least goals allowed in the district. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of course, Liberty and Greenwood, 4 and 5 respectively. But then Memorial has 14 is above you. Y'all have 11. And then the next one, I see 40, 34, 39, 42, 62, and 99. My goodness. We'll talk about them here in just a few minutes. But obviously, I'm sure it has to take some pride for you and for this program to be able to say, hey, like you may be able to out-athlete us, but goodness, good luck getting past us.
Yeah, the goals allowed is what I look at the most, not so much how much we score, but we've only allowed 15, and I want to say 8 of those have came from either free kicks or PKs. And so Alexis is really only allowed in 7 true goals. 9, my mouth is off, but she's allowed in very few actual true goals.
Fantastic. Well, let's get a chance to meet your team here. As mentioned, we'll start here, and of course, I'm going to give you a friendly reminder, your first and last name, your classification, and what position you play on the team. So let's start right here.
I'm Avery Hansen. I'm a senior captain and 4 years on varsity, and I honestly play whatever position Courtney feels like I need to play that game. So anywhere and everywhere.
I love it.
My name is Valeria Chavez, 4-year varsity. I'm a senior captain, and I played outside mid.
The energy's back. Give me the energy. I love it. I love it.
Hi, I'm Soraya Morrison. I'm a junior captain, and I play both wings.
I'm Cecilia Soria. I'm a sophomore and play center mid.
I'm Alexis Trials. I'm the goalie, senior, with 13 shutouts.
I love that as Courtney was mentioning about, the shutouts and everything, all the players, I see on the screen, I seen them at first, all the players just looking at her, and she's just kind of doing little, trying to get out of the spotlight type of deal. I see it over there. But obviously a fantastic season thus far. But of course, Coach, I want to hear your perspective, and I'm sure you may come back to that Greenwood game. But what do you think are some of the highlights for this program this year?
A highlight and a low light was our tournament. Going out on a PK, 'cause when we lost to Fredericksburg, we knew we couldn't advance, but we also knew that we held our own, and we knew that we only lost by PK. So it's kind of a low light that we didn't advance, but it was a highlight for me because I knew that we were ready. Like, I knew that when we played Liberty in 2 days that we were coming. That first Liberty game was also a huge highlight. Last year, I want to say they beat us 5-0, 6-0. I mean, they're a talented team, and we held them to 1 in our first game. So that was great. We went on a streak of 5 in a row or so pretty handily. That was very nice. And then we came up against we had a little dip for a couple games. But we learned through it. We worked through it, and then we came back, and now we're on a 6 in a row winning streak. Hopefully to make that 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at everything, and of course I mentioned that 99 goals allowed. That is what that next team is coming up is with Lubbock Estacado, who are, and I'm gonna double check myself when I read this.
Yeah, they're sitting in 10th.
Yeah, they're sitting in 10th. I pulled up the wrong one. Stupid me. 0-16 in district play, 0-18 overall. They've only scored 4 goals all year, have given up 107 total. Of course, 99 of those have been in district play. And I see some of the reaction from the players. It looks like they weren't really too aware of that. But obviously, you only want to give as much as you want them to know. But talk about that matchup with Estacado. Of course, you did play them previously already. First time round, won 8-0 at home, and you're going on the road this time.
With Estacado, it's a glorified practice to me because in our last game against Pecos, we only won by 1, but we had 16 shots or so, and we are not finishing as well as we could. So that's our focus for tomorrow is working on our through balls, working on our crosses, and we're really looking at, I know as a coach it's terrible to look ahead, I know, but I'm looking ahead to Friday, and our practices, we're geared to Friday because we play Friendship Memorial. If we beat them, then we will actually jump into 3rd place. And so if we win, we're in 3rd place. If we lose, we're in 4th. Regardless, we're in playoffs. I mean, even 4th out of 10 teams is incredible.
Right.
But I am looking ahead to Friday. That's going to be the matchup.
Talk me through and honestly, and of course this may be common amongst in other sports, but a 10-team district is probably the biggest district I've seen.
It's
what is it like for you and your program of knowing, hey, here's 9 other teams ranging as far as Lubbock, Midland, Sweetwater. What's it like having I'm sure the travel is brutal.
The biggest thing is we don't have a bye week where other teams have multiple bye weeks, or other teams, their last game is on Friday, where we still have, we have to go to Lubbock twice this week. The Chiefs actually had a hard run where they had 5 district games in a row, so they were on the road 2.5 weeks. Ours wasn't as bad, but it's definitely rough, and it's definitely a downfall going into playoffs because most of the playoff teams, either they're already done or their last game's tomorrow, so they definitely get more time off than we do. But that's why we have subs.
That's very much true. I did ask the boys team this, so I do want to ask you, what's that formation you throwing out there with your team?
Well, depends on the day. What's worked this year is actually a made-up formation. Every other coach would tell me I'm stupid, but it works for them. We're currently playing a 3-4-3, 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 forwards. We really kind of deflect to a 4-1-3-2 at times when we need to play more defensive. Against Greenwood, we did a 4-2-3-1. As a coach, it's easy to come in and say, I'm going to run a 3-5-2, or I'm going to run a 4-4-2. And, this is my 3rd year of coaching high school, and this is my 3rd year with a different primary formation. So it's not about what you want, it's about what works for the team. And so far, we're sticking with what's been working.
I mean, honestly, from my perspective, and of course, this is thankfully my time playing FIFA and all that fun stuff. 3-4-3 is not impossible. I mean, it's certainly a thing that used to be ran a lot more common. So, luckily for you, it's not made up. But I am very much love the ability to be adaptable to it all. So, obviously, as a whole, but of course, these are only my goodness, English is tough sometimes. You and I talked prior to the show. there's a reason why you brought up these girls.
Yeah.
Of course, these girls are your captains.
No.
Let's
I'd love to talk about them for a second.
Please. That's exactly what I'm about to ask you to do. Please talk about them.
Valeria Chavez, as she mentioned, she's a 4-year varsity player. Her freshman year, she only played a few games. My first year of coaching was her sophomore year. She was limited. She got in every game, but her time was limited. Last year, she really started to blossom. She really showed captain abilities last year. She wasn't always a starter, but she was always a firecracker. She always lit her team up. She always had the most energy on the field. So coming into this year, I knew that she was going to be a captain from day one. And that's something I'm very proud of. It's very unusual having that stability. She's really been the HR director of our team. She's really, her parents are some of our biggest cheerleaders, and we love them for that. But she's one, I mean, I'm proud of all of them, but I'm very proud of how much she's come up and how much she's just blown up this year, and it's been incredible. Avery Hansen, as she said, she's a 4-year varsity player. She played a center back, a defender, the first 2 years, her freshman and sophomore year. Last year, I forced her to play forward. She didn't really like it, but she ended up becoming our leading scorer last year. At the beginning of this year, she begged to go back to defense, and I said, okay, go play defense. And that lasted for about 6 games, and I said, you're done. You're going back to forward. She is currently our leading scorer right now. So
I'm about to say, it certainly looks like it.
She's doing well. Soraya Morrison, she's a junior, and Soraya, her first year, she also played defense, and then I saw a spark in her our very last game. So last year as a sophomore, I put her as a forward, and this year she is our second leading scorer. She is also up there with I call it the assist to the assist, because sometimes when you score a goal,
it's a hockey assist. It's that second one that's
because sometimes as a forward you can be in the right place, touch the ball one time and get a goal.
Yeah.
But that's great. Like, I love the people who finish, but I think the work to get the ball is more important. So that's why it's important to me that, if you have high goals, you need to have high assists. But she's really done a lot of work off the ball. These two actually went to Spain over the summer with my other captain, Angelica de la Cruz, and played in Spain for 10 days. But they do the most work outside of school, and it shows 1,000%. It shows.
That's phenomenal.
Yep. And then this is my little sophomore. This is Ceci Soria. She's going to be a 4-year freshman. Second year. Ceci's a center mid, and Ceci's the definition of a workhorse. Like, she goes up, down, up, down. She's everywhere on the field. I think she has like 5 goals right now, 4 or 5 assists, but her assist to the assist is, I want to say, 6 or 7. So she carries the weight of the whole team on her shoulders sometime, and as a young player to have that burst on her, it's hard and it's rough and it's a lot of running, but our team wouldn't be successful without her and without her in that position. So
I am absolutely loving the energy from this table right here. Thank you.
My parents are loud. Okay, ask anybody. And then lastly, Alexis, I'm her biggest hype man. I'll hype her up forever. But her story is unique because, for example, the Liberty keeper, she plays in the National League. The Greenwood keeper plays in the NPL. They travel for San Diego in the offseason. She doesn't play competitive. This is only her second season playing goalie, which means this is about her 30th game as a goalkeeper, where most keepers get that in a year or more. And so for her to have 13 shutouts in a 10-district team, she's going to be a huge hole to lose next year. I'm already going to cry. I can't talk about it. But she's been the biggest driving force about defense with our center back, Addison, and some other defenders. But same thing, we wouldn't be successful with any other person in goal except her.
It definitely sounds like it. And obviously, congratulations to all of y'all for y'all success this year. Of course, Coach, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, so I'm going to ask it a different way. What's that message to the team heading to these final 2 district games to make sure, of course, you already have districts set up, or you already have playoffs set up, but what's that message to the team to try to make sure, hey, let's try to get that 3rd place spot?
What I really harp on is what comes next. If we make a mistake, what are we going to do about it? If we get scored on, what's next? If we score 4 goals, what's next? And so regardless of whatever happens on the field, within a game or practice or whatever, it's never about what already happened. It's about what are you going to do about it? How are we going to fix it? And what comes next? And so that's been my real message this year it's not about the mistakes. It's not about what already happened. How are we going to handle it?
And absolutely, I mean, just some great words coming from somebody who seems to really be passionate about this team and just this program as a whole, and I do commend you, and of course, and congratulations on just like a fantastic season thus far. But of course, best of luck to you this week. The maidens will be on the road, as mentioned, against Estacado and Fitcher Memorial this week to close out the regular season, and they'll start playoffs, hopefully in that third place spot. That's what we're going to be shooting for. But of course, that's going to be it for today's Chief Insider. Of course, one more round of applause for this maiden soccer team. And, of course, thank you to head coach Courtney Green. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck to y'all ladies. Thank you for being here. And, of course, as always, thank you all for watching. You've been watching Chiefs Insider. As always, my name is Chad Miller on behalf of my producer, director extraordinaire Shay Harris. As always, take care of each other and yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your night, and see you later from Shenanigans.